All right. Bobby Livingston, thank you so much for joining me on today's episode. I'm very excited to introduce a special item that you have in your auction. Why don't you start? We can start off by telling us a little bit about yourself, your auction house, what you do.
Sure. Uh, my name is Bobby Livingston, and I'm Executive Vice President of our auction in Boston. And we've been holding monthly sales of memorabilia, weird things, autographs since 1976. So right now we're doing two auctions a month. And this month we've got some pretty amazing, we call it remarkable rarities. So we've got one of the most famous pictures of Einstein, an incredible I'm a man poster that's behind me. And then we've got, one of the more interesting items we've ever had, which is a lock of President Lincoln's hair.
Wow. And I'm with him right now, so he can authenticate it. But tell us a little, that's why I reached out. Tell us a little bit about how your team acquired it, how you were able to authenticate it, and a little bit more of the history of that piece.
Sure. So in all these decades, we get celebrity hair, and a lot of hair from the 18th and 19th century, even the 20th century. It was common as a memento to cut a lock of hair and present it to an admirer, or when you passed away, they would cut a lock of hair and present it to you. So, we've had Beethoven's hair, and it's white. We've had George Washington's hair. Previously, we had an incredible lock of Lincoln's hair, where an American folk artist had taken all the hair follicles and made a log cabin out of it and put it in a locket. It's one of the coolest things we've ever sold, and I think I'm pretty sure it's on display in one of the Ripley's Believe It or Not museums. So an incredible piece. So we sell all types of things, but one of the things we sell is locks of hair. But the one thing you got to do to authenticate locks of hair is provenance. Where did it come from? And this particular lock of hair that we have in this auction comes from Dr. Lyman Beecher Todd, who is married Todd Lincoln's cousin. And
Wow.
Dr. Lyman Beecher Todd was in Washington, known to be in Washington the night of the assassination. He was the postmaster of Lexington, Kentucky, and he was appointed by Lincoln postmaster. So he was in Washington the night of the assassination, and the next day, as he would, he went as a family member to the postmortem of Lincoln. And at that time, a lock of hair was cut and presented to him as a memento, which is not macabre. It was typical of that time period. And he reached into his pocket, and in his pocket was the telegram. And so he put the hair in the telegram, and you'll see that. But there's some remnants of something that was probably on the hair, and you can use your imagination and
Right.
know what was, because it was presented at the autopsy. So he folds it in the telegram. So what I think is particularly fascinating, so the provenance is that it's given to a Lincoln family member, but the Lincoln family member takes the piece of hair and puts it in this telegram. But this telegram is historically significant in its own, because it's dated April 14th, 1865, Washington, D.C., 11 p.m. That's when the telegram was transmitted and received in Washington.
Oh my gosh.
And there are conspiracy theories about Abraham Lincoln's assassination, that it was some kind of coup d'etat. And that Edmund Stanton had cut the telegraph lines. And so no information could get in and out of Washington because they had all worked in the government, the dark part of the government assassinated President Lincoln. But this telegram disproves all of that, because you could see on the telegram the night of the assassination, the lines were working. And here's a telegram that's dated, on the assassination.
Wow. And then it has some of Lincoln's blood on it.
That's what we suspect.
Okay.
It is. Yeah. I mean, it's likely that. Yeah. That's what it looks like.
And then just a little, how did it then get into the hands of your team?
Sure. So in 1945, it was sold by a direct descendant of Dr. Lyman Beecher Todd uh, into the public hands. And then again, it was sold by a very famous New York book dealer named Charles Hamilton. Uh, and then it was sold again in 1999 at a very famous auction called Butterfield's Auction. And that the guy who bought it in 1999 has consigned it to us. So
Wow.
there's a direct line of custody, unbroken, that we know where it was, from the assassination to the family, out of the family to Charles Hamilton, Hamilton to Butterfields, and then to our client, and now us. So
Incredible. And then, and so how much is a piece like that go? Are the hair and the telegram being sold together? Can you buy them separately?
yeah, the hair is mounted to the telegram. So we're going to sell them together in this original state with whatever staining that is on there. So it all goes as one lot. And we expect it to sell between $75,000 and $100,000 because it's, we usually get around, mid five figures for Lincoln hair, but this one is so special because it just has such strong provenance, and it's mounted to the telegram, and there's remnants of staining.
Now I imagine that you've actually like held it in your hands, especially the hair. Is this some sort of historical sort of magic that goes through you? Do you feel all the things that he might have been through, or?
Well, look, we get to hold the neatest things in our hands here are all the time. This particular item is framed and mounted. And I wouldn't, obviously the lock of hair I probably wouldn't touch. It's mounted on a, but I haven't held this particular piece in my hands. But yes, artifacts like this, to answer your question, do bring alive iconic figures like Abraham Lincoln and the tragedy of his assassination and the brutal murder of the President of the United States. It is captured in this artifact because of the staining and because of the lock of hair, and we know, and the date of the telegram. I mean, it's right there. So it's a time capsule into this tragic night in American history.
Wow. Can you tell us a little bit about the contents of the telegram and who it was meant to be sent to?
It's the content is general. It's nothing to do with the assassination. The Civil War had ended, and so it's basic communication, but it is to the War Department, and it's the date. I mean, it's for someone of my age, the date of the Kennedy assassination, you just don't forget it. You don't forget the date of Pearl Harbor. And I'm sure when people heard that Lincoln was assassinated, April 14th, 1865, stuck in the memory of all that generation. And so here's a telegram with that date on it.
Wow, that is so incredible. Would it be possible to, I don't know what kind of camera you have, but just to get a close up of the lock of hair and the telegram?
Yeah. I'm going to walk you to the. Now I can't see what you're seeing, but can you see?
No, there you go. Wow, that is incredible.
So you can see the telegram. I don't know if you can read it, but it's Office of U.S. Military Telegraph, Lexington.
Oh my gosh.
And it says to Dr. Todd, it's addressed to him, from Colonel Vincent, all goes well, but you are missed, McKernan. And then you can see the lock of hair. It's annotated below there in pencil, hair of A. Lincoln, and then there's a stamp in red dated April 14th, 1865.
Oh my God.
So it's fantastic. And then here's the letter of transmittal from the descendant, the son of Dr. Lyman Beecher Todd, transmitting the hair. And as I said, it ended up in our client's hands, and we're auctioning it this Saturday.
Incredible. And then do you already have some buyers in mind, or do you expect it'll sell quickly?
Yeah, because we're known for historic artifacts like that, we've got lots of buyers, and people are aware of this around the world that don't necessarily know you can buy a lock of Lincoln's hair. So we've got some new bidders as well. So it's exciting. It's going to be an exciting auction.
That's really incredible. And then tell us a little bit about some of the other things you have behind you. I saw that you had the Marilyn Monroe picture, and
yeah, we've got this. Marilyn Monroe, of course. I can't see if I can see it all right, but
yeah,
a very rare photo of her. Typically, she would sign different styles of studio photographs. That particular one is lovely, and it's a rare pose you don't see. And authenticating Marilyn Monroe autographs is something that's very important that anyone should do when they buy something like that. This particular one has been authenticated by a company called PSA, and they've encapsulated it. So one of the other neat things I think we have that you can see behind me is the "I Am a Man" poster. These were famous. This one has got Memphis on it, so it tells us that it was in Memphis in 1968 during the sanitation strike there. And there's lots of photos of it, but that is why Martin Luther King traveled to Memphis in 1968, was to support the strikers. And that's what put him at the Lorraine Hotel, was this particular event. So not only is it extremely a graphic that captures the civil rights movement, but it also has another significance that it was in Memphis. So it's extremely historic, and you don't see many of them in this condition.
Is that where he was assassinated?
Yes.
So a lot of assassination pieces for this auction.
Yes. Yeah. There is a tragedy. These things, from Kennedy assassination, King's assassination, Lincoln's assassination, these are mementos of American history that shows the tragedy that we've faced as a country and overcome as a country.
Totally. And then what brought you personally into this field? This is fairly remarkable.
Well, our auction is a family business, so I've got family members, but I didn't start here until maybe 12 or 13 years ago. And you walk in, and like you said earlier, you have history in your hands, and it gives you chills. So it's an easy place to work in if you love history. And so we actually, one of the things we sell a lot of besides historical artifacts, we work with a lot of NASA moonwalkers and astronauts. They're all the ones that are left are in their 80s, the last living members, but they're our clients, and they give us tchotchkes that to them are nothing, but we sell a lot of space items, things that went to the moon. And we have got a big NASA sale after this one. So it's a place like this, or an auction house that sells a variety of things. It's exciting because you have to learn every day something new. Whether it's I'm not a physicist, but I have to learn about Einstein,
right?
And it's an autographed picture of R equals, whatever, the Ray's formula. It's R equals. That's the problem, right? But it's just an incredible photo where you have to learn these things.
That's incredible. Do you guys have any priceless artifacts that you'll just never sell for the private collection, or?
Well, we're an auction house, so our we don't own the things that we sell.
Oh, right. Okay.
But and I'm not a collector per se, but I get to touch the greatest things in American history that are in private hands. A lot of these things people say, why aren't these in museums? Well, museums are full up, right? And some things collectors should curate and keep for the next generation. A lot of museums have too much stuff, and it's lost. You don't see it. It's like that Indiana Jones thing, right? Where they have warehouses full of stuff. So these are the remnants that are out in public hands. So we get a chance to curate them for a couple of days, a couple of weeks, and then we sell them.
That's incredible. Can you tell me some of the more bizarre objects that you've sold for clients?
Well, I think, one of the most important items we ever sold was the only watch that could be worn on the moon by a U.S. astronaut that doesn't belong to the United States government. No, the Omegas. So what happened was the United States government owns all the Omega Speedmasters. They're all in the Smithsonian, or they belong to the government.
Okay.
But when Apollo 15, Commander Dave Scott went out for his third moonwalk, he put his watch on, and the crystal on the Omega had popped off, and they
Mm,
think because of where the angle of the sun was, for whatever reason. So he had a backup watch that was produced by the Bulova Watch Company, and he put that on and saluted the flag and performed a lot of experiments, the famous Galileo experiment where he drops the hammer and the
right.
feather at the same time, and they both hit the ground at the same time. He was wearing this particular Bulova watch at that time. So
Wow.
uh, that we sold for $1.6 million.
Oh my gosh. And it operated in space.
Oh yeah, on the moon. Yeah,
Wow. Incredible.
yeah.
That's
No,
amazing.
yeah.
Um, that's so cool. And who do you, so back to Lincoln's hair, who do you imagine would be the buyer? Like a historical collector, or are they the kind of the same type of people that are buying hair from you guys?
Well, someone that would buy Lincoln's hair would be a big Lincoln collector,
Mhm.
fan of Lincoln. There are hair collectors, but they're far and few between. There are people that just collect hair. But I think this particular sample, because it's it has so much going for it, that it's Lincoln's, the president, it's a beautiful lock of hair, and the telegram, that'll probably go to a Lincoln collector.
Right. It's amazing. Does it look brittle? Does it look like if you'll touch it, it'll fall apart, or?
It looks fresh. It's been in this frame and exposed to sunlight is the only thing about it. But otherwise, it seems to have been in there for decades.
Wow. That's so incredible. Well, thank you very much, Bobby. I think that's all the questions I have. Is there anything you want to add, or?
Well, of course, we sell all these great things at our auction. So even if you're not interested in buying things from us, you can learn something every day by going to our website and finding a celebrity or a historical figure that you're interested in. Because we have letters from Thomas Edison to George Washington to and Bob Dylan. So it's all there.
Right. And then can you just give us, what is the where's the website that people can go to check out
Sure.
your items again?
Sure. It's rrauction.com. That's the letter R, the letter R, AUCTION.com. We're in Boston, Massachusetts. You can find us on the internet.
Awesome. So that's right. Can you still place bets, or can you still place bids on the hair? If I wanted to, I could right now.
Right now, and the auction ends on Saturday, September 12th. Well, actually, the live gavel. Hey, can I get $200? I need $200. That is starts at 1:00 on this Saturday.
Will that stream live? Are you guys doing that with coronavirus, or will that stream live, or?
We're gonna stream live.
Okay.
We'll just be the auctioneer, and then people on the telephones or on the internet. So you can watch the sale on rrauction.com.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. So if you still want to get a chance to buy a piece of Lincoln's hair, check out our auctions. Art, right? That's in Massachusetts.
Right.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Bobby, and I really enjoyed speaking with you today.
I did as well. Thanks for having me.
Okay, you have a good one.